Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to do another Age 20 run, this time with Rutheon, all Distortions on as usual. This time we're going up against Kadath, who everyone complains about, including me until I started practicing him a little bit more. Problem with Kadath is that the other two bosses kind of teach you not to use units. If you use units against the Zombie Legion, they'll respawn as enemies, and then if you use units against the Vampire, it will heal the Night Waves. Whereas with Kadath, you really want to be using units. So you need to look out for things like the Night Order, the Beastmaster's Den. I don't think the Fletcher's Enclave or the Stone Quarry really transition as well into Age 20, but the Night Order, the Beastmaster Den, and the one for the Monks all work well. And then on top of that, you need to be thinking of building around an amplifier that will also buff your units. We'll see that more when we get into the game, but for this one we're going for a Rage Amplifier build, which will scale up the Warhounds. The Warhounds will carry enough that I don't have to go back to Night Waves a single time. Not Night Waves, that would be ridiculous. I won't have to go back to any extra Day Waves, even when the towers are disabled. So anyways, we're running Shadow Strike, Acid Rain, and Spectral Fog, and then for evolutions, we'll run Shadow Step Recall, Shadow Preparation, and Acidic Cloud. These two have really good synergy together, and then we'll be talking about Shadow Step more in the actual run. Alright, so first of all, we'll grab the reduced cost for Power Strike. That's not going to make a huge difference in this build, but it is nice to have for the early waves. And then this will make the early game so much easier than normal. If you can get this on a Siren that has a built-in stun, you might as well take it. It's extremely powerful. And then we are going to be restoring a domain on day 1, and we need the Rage Amp as well, so that'll help. And then this is going to be very important for the run as well. If I can't get full tower set up on night 1, then there's a chance that I just lose out on income because of one of the towers being disabled. I guess I didn't buy my units quite fast enough for the first wave. That would make this first camp a lot faster, but either way, pulling this first camp into the attack wave is a little bit more efficient. Usually I get the Tamer's Paddock built fast enough that there's also dogs in that wave, and they kill things pretty quickly. But I guess this time that didn't happen. So most important thing I'm looking for is cooldown reduction, and then after that it's Rage Amp. And then if neither of those things are there, blue amplifiers are good too. And then I want both of these potions, but I want to get the healing stacked up as fast as possible. So I think if you can get away with it, running full mage towers on Kadath seeds is the best way to go. Ooh, that is a rare upgrade for the purple potion, so that'll help things get going a lot quicker too. But yeah, all your towers are going to end up getting disabled at some point as nights pass. It's not as bad on lower ages, but once you pass a certain age, you start losing 2 towers per day instead of 1. And the Chronomancer towers will still give income, even while they're disabled. Meanwhile, the other towers obviously aren't going to be doing any good for you. I wonder if the Mage Tower, or if the Archer towers would maybe still set down traps from their meta progression, but I'm not sure. That's not something I've tested at all. And then these early days, it's going to be really important that I interact with every single altar of power on red amplifiers, or rage amplifiers. For Kadath seeds, I think you really need to pay attention to what type of build am I going and what unit scales off of that. So we have the dogs that scale off of Rage Amps, which I'll be using in this run. The monks scale off of blue amps and sacred shrines, and then the knights scale off of tactical amps. So you want to be thinking of either planning your units around your build or your build around your units, based on like what domains you have on the map as well. If you have... Oh, that barely missed. That is very easy to misclick when you're trying to do things quickly. I think I'll be just enough HP to survive this. These dog enemies are really annoying. They're not bad unless they have, like, bleed or burn or thunder on them. Because you don't really get hit that often by them. It's just their cone attack comes out so quickly that it feels like you always take at least one hit by it. And that one hit will apply, like in this case, when it applies thunder... Ooh, what do I do here? I guess I'll get the cooldown reduction. But yeah, that one hit of thunder that's getting put on me is doing 6% of my max health. So it does add up pretty quickly. It's even worse against fire, because fire's 10% of your max health. And that's assuming the debuff doesn't get refreshed at all while you're fighting them. That's just from getting hit once. Oops. Wait, did that hit? I do not know how that one hit. This will help proc my cooldown reduction even when I'm running around, so that'll be very nice to have for this run. And then we're going to pick up the Beastmaster Den to get a couple extra dogs during our wave, and then complete the quest as well. I didn't pull both of them. It's a little tricky to get pulls on multiple enemies if they're spread out a little further, which is why I wish you could put individually just off of SmartCast individually. Because I don't want my E on SmartCast, but I want the rest of them. Okay, perfect. We got a Rage Amp right here, so we don't have to re-roll at all. But yeah, I started saying it earlier, but I don't think I really finished the thought. The domain buildings for units are way stronger than you would think they are, especially when you combine them with the upgrades that scale off of a certain Ultra power. Your units can get really powerful even in Age 20. They're not going to be pushing waves and ending the game on their own, but if you help them push waves, they will do a lot of damage to the boss, and you'll see that I don't have to go back and defend any of the day waves at all, even after a lot of my towers are disabled. The Warhounds are going to defend on their own. And I think that's something that a lot of people just kind of ignore, which is exactly the way that I am, or that I was, until I started trying to really think about the Kadath Seed and how to deal with it. I always completely ignored both the domains for units and the actual military buildings. The one thing that's going to happen at night, I don't remember if this is a mechanic that gets added later on, or if it's one of the base mechanics. I only play on 20, so I don't really remember exactly where stuff got added. But when your towers get disabled at night, they'll have bone spikes, which will end up summoning extra enemies as well. But the nice thing about them is they give a bunch of EXP for some reason. So if you get one of your EXP trees, then you grab those at the start of each night, you'll level up much faster in this run than you will in other runs. Normally I don't hit level 3 until I start like killing a bunch of the first wave, I was able to grab level 3 as soon as those died this time. So that is a nice small buff for this run. Ooh, I am stacking Rage, so this will give a little bit more damage scaling to my E. You're gonna see that we're doing so much damage for the most part that having that OP bleed debuff isn't really going to matter a whole lot, aside from boss fights. And in the boss fights, it's gonna help accelerate the kills, but I'll be doing well enough of my own flat damage that I'm not relying on the bleed. I don't want to do builds that specifically cheese things by using like bleed or fire or thunder early on just for their percentage health damage. But if the build's already doing enough damage by default, I kinda don't mind throwing one of them on top of it. I don't mind bleed as much as thunder and fire as well, because bleed's damage only stacks up if you're able to get the enemy low in the first place. It doesn't really do that much damage just on its own. But anyways, now that we got level 3, we unlocked our main ability for this run, which is Shadow Strike. You target 2 different places on the map, and then you'll dash between them. This thing is really OP. I think they'll probably even nerf it. But I think, as well as nerfing this, I think they need to like buff some of the other skills too, so they don't really feel worth it most runs over just going auto-attack builds, in my opinion. You can make skill damage builds work by getting legendary potion effect for your arcane potions that stacks 1 blue amp every time you use it, and then you can go for like potion cooldowns on top of that to get really high scaling on blue amps. That can make skill damage builds, especially ones that scale off of blue amps in the first place, pretty strong. You can take those on top of the evolution that just gives you flat skill damage percentage. You can get pretty decent damage that way, but not as much damage as I feel like you could get out of an auto-attacking build much more easily. And then it's kind of the same with this build too. Like, Shadow Strike is just so much better than any other of the other skills right now, because you're hitting twice by default, and with Shadow Step Recall you'll see that I hit 4 times. So we have 100 times scaling on this ability right here. I think what they need to do is, like, nerf the base on this a little bit, and then rework Shadow Step altogether. To maybe, like, Shadow Step gives you more hits the more Rage Amp you have or something. Shadow Step just being a double damage increase and double scaling increase on it is way too strong. You would almost really never want to run Shadow Strike without this. I mean, you could, especially in lower difficulties, but why would you not take it when it's that big of a damage increase? Alright, so now we have to start going through the painful process of trying to reroll altars again, with double cost altars on. I think what we can do here is put down a spear. Actually, do I just heal? Yeah, I have a good enough heal, I don't have to worry about that. What you could do is, like, throw a spear down there, go up, grab the life fountain, and then teleport back. Rutheon's spear ability on his Q is very, very good for map movement. I won't be using it, like, super efficiently this run, because trying to track that on top of doing commentary is very difficult to do, but I will be using it occasionally. And now we are just kind of... This is what I don't like about double cost Ultra powers, is you're just kind of stuck running around a lot of the time. Either waiting on your potion to come back off a cooldown, or you're stuck having to run to an altar. Or a life fountain, rather. It just slows down the pace of the run so much. Which, maybe certain runs need to be slowed down a little bit. Like with this run, you'll see me win really quickly. Do I waste a reroll here? I guess I'll use one. I don't really like either of those options. So I stealth before I go into the camp. I can probably even do this already. So the way that Shadow Strike works is that you'll mark 2 different points on the map, and you'll dash back and forth between them. So by default, you can get 2 hits, and then what the evolution that I took for Shadow Step Recall makes you go backwards through those points again. So like right there, you can see, for example, I hit the camp 4 times with 700 damage on each hit, and I'm just able to nuke those camps instantly, even though it's only day 2. I think it's just a little bit too strong right now. The one weakness of this, though, is that you're really just waiting around for cooldowns as well between camps. There's not really consistent ways of getting a bunch of cooldown reduction either, aside from just going potion build, which I've done too many times already. I don't want to run that again every time, and I'm sure people are getting tired of seeing it too. So I wanted to show off a build that doesn't use it at all. Let's see, what could we be doing now? We do have Green Potion back off a cooldown, so I can go for a camp like this without really risking anything. Especially if I just walk in here like this. Oh, and free one-shot camp, okay. Yeah, I don't think I really need to worry about stacking HP that heavily. So normally what you would do with Walking Shadow is you just have to get off your mount and walk before you go into your camp. That'll give you the invisibility. I don't have to do that because I got the passive here, but just to make that clear to people, if you're wondering why you're not getting the invisibility like I am. We could probably even fuck with this camp a little bit. Let's see. I can upgrade this. Both of these towers actually didn't get disabled, that is nice. But let's grab the EXP up here first, and then we'll do a little bit of a trick here. I'm gonna put my spear down here, and then you're gonna see something real interesting here. I'm gonna hook the enemy, and then I'm gonna teleport back to the spear. Doing your E ability doesn't actually lock you out of other abilities, so you can do stuff like that. I'm not gonna be using it to abuse camps this way. You can pull camps out of their aggro range, and then they just, like, won't attack you, because they'll be walking back. And you can also pull camps, like, infinitely across the map by doing that. But it's a funny little trick to show off here, and then just to get a little bit more damage on the big spider there, it's a little optimization. This mechanic is really, really OP with the plant jungle enemies, because they can't run away. You can just pull them to your towers, and then let your towers do all the work for you as you run around and do other things. You can pull every single camp of the jungle side, or of the plant jungle side, and just have it done by day 2, maybe day 1. The only thing holding you back is really cooldown reduction, and how long the towers take to kill the camps too. Because towers really don't kill camps that fast at age 20. Mage towers are your best bet if the mage tower can actually lock on and keep hitting. Come on, there we go. Oh, these are both terrible options, but I don't want to reroll it. I don't think anything does frost damage. Now they do thunder and acid. My last ability will do frost damage, but it's not really going to be doing that much damage anyways. Dang, I didn't get to the spikes in time to get EXP off of them. I maybe got EXP off of like one of them at the end. I think my dogs killed most of them. But anyways, now that we hit level 6, we have our next ability, Acid Rain. It's mostly going to be for the 40% damage bonus to anything that gets hit by it, but it's also really, really helpful for... These enemy waves have Fate Armor. So they have 2 Fate Armor. If I were to just do my Shadow Strike without stripping away that Fate Armor somehow, then half of the Shadow Strike is just going to get eaten in damage, and then like my E is also going to start doing really high damage as well, since we're stacking Rage Amps. So the poison not only helps just all together with more damage output, it really helps scale away that Fate Armor that makes these waves annoying. I do want to be careful, though, and not... I think how it works is all of the different minions from different bosses... I don't want to do this yet. I need to test this after its nerfs to see if it's still OP or not. So I don't want to take it right now until I've tested it. It used to be really, really overpowered, but then it got nerfed. But yeah, I think the way it works is that all the different bosses' minions have different stats. So when I was doing the vampire boss before, they always had really high attack stats, and it was leading to a lot of times where I felt like the units weren't as tanky as they should be. Like even with Vanadius, I had full damage reduction stacked up as much as I could early on, and he was still getting killed very quickly by the waves. But I've noticed doing the other bosses that I don't take nearly as much damage from getting hit by the waves. I think the zombie enemies are probably... They feel a lot more tanky. It takes longer to kill the waves, but they don't do as much damage, and then I think the main gimmick between, like, the skeleton enemies here is their Fate Armor, which is cool. I like that the enemy types themselves are different per map, and not just the boss mechanics and bosses. So let me do a quick check. I've gotten all 4 Altar Powers. That's going to be very important to keep up with. Not even necessarily as much for my own damage, just to make sure the dogs are able to scale enough, and then hold the day waves for me. Do I want the auto attack speed and the 3 rage amps, or do I want the speed bonus to get around faster? I honestly think the speed is better here. My damage is so high that I don't need to min-max rage amp scaling, and then I don't really need my auto attacks that much either. Now we'll start picking up the treasure map. And then we'll do that after we take out the wolf here. At level 6, we also unlocked the passive for cooldown reduction. That'll help you out a little bit and at the beginning of combat when you're in cooldown reduction. Or it will also, if you're out of combat, you can walk on purpose to try and get your skill back. So I actually just stumbled across the first one as I was walking there, but for these maps, what you want to do is all of the sides of the jungle will be different based on what type of enemy is there. So, for example, with the spider enemies, you see all this real dull gray-colored area. That's all their dead trees and all their skulls and stuff that are laying around. So I know this is on the right side of the map. And then I also know that there's a building here and a building here, so it's probably in between the Night Order and the Altar of Power. You can actually tell that this is the Night Order because it has, like, two things broken together right here. You have to look real closely to be able to see those, but you can tell the difference apart of different structures. And then this one's going to be right next to my main lane here. This has a big curve, so it's right there. You can also barely see it right here. That's the artifact chest right at the beginning. These are seeded, so I knew exactly where they were, by the way. But it's really easy to find them once you start knowing what to look for. It did not take me long at all to find them the first time I ran this seed. Oh, that's weird. Every other time I've run this, there's been a blue plant here, but for some... Maybe I already got it earlier? I don't remember walking up to here, but maybe I did. This is risky if I end up dying a couple times, but we're going for units anyways, so might as well. It'll help them hold the waves faster. And then my R will come back off cooldown, so we can go back in. Had to use my cooldown reduction potion for that, but it's worth it. And then we'll get this gold mine going as well. So we got all 3 gold mines by day 3. I technically could have ran over here and gotten this gold mine earlier, but it's not really necessary to. Did one spider... Yep. One spider just managed to hide away in the corner there and not get hit by any of that. Oh, I can grab some free EXP here, too. I forget that these bones spawn during the day as well. Usually I'm not next to the lane either at that time. Usually I'm back out in the jungle again. Unless it takes me the entire day to clear night waves. Or the entire night to clear night waves, rather. Which did happen a couple times when I was doing the Zombie Legion. They really feel like they take a lot longer to kill than others. Then we should grab the Alchemist Guild to spawn the legendary plants and also make our potions last longer. I don't need the Fate Amps for anything at all, so I might as well just not buy those. Oh yeah, and then we'll need to go back soon and get that legendary shard. We'll do that after we finish up a couple things here. Grab the life fountain and the sacred shrine. Oh yeah, something I wanted to mention earlier, but I just forgot about. Don't be too upset if you have a hard time using this Shadow Strike ability at first. It is a little bit of an awkward one to learn how to cast, but once you have some practice with it, it's not that bad anymore. There were definitely a lot of times where I just took unnecessary damage because I couldn't cast it fast enough during combat. So one thing I could do while I'm here... It depends on... Oh. Wait, what? What's wrong with my cooldown potion? Is that actually bugged, or is that just a visual thing? So I'm at 73. Okay. Yeah, it is working properly, question mark. I don't know if it's working properly or if it's giving me way more than it should. It's bumping me up to 1,000 cooldown reduction, which I think I did pick up quite a few. I think I did pick up quite a few high tier cooldown reduction things, so that's probably fine. I wonder what made it go negative like that. These are all pretty much worthless options. The tactical amps do scale how long I go invisible, but that's not a big deal. Once we hit level 9, we have permanent invisibility. Oh, I missed a plant there. That's fine, though. At this point, I can also start taking some arcane altars to... I don't necessarily need to be fully maxed out on rage amps. My dogs are still strong enough to carry through a couple more nights, even without the Bastion building for them. Like, you can see I haven't upgraded them at all here. The only thing I've bought for the dogs at all were the scaling off of the rage amps. Here I will pick up their Fate armor as well. One Fate armor doesn't sound like a whole lot, but they attack pretty quickly, and having that one Fate armor spread out between all of the ones that are spawning adds up in a lot of tank value. Oh, we didn't grab the... I went back to base and then I didn't grab the legendary shard. I swear we'll get it this time. Sometimes the Q ability is a little weird about not wanting to go over walls, even though it should. I don't know why. But now we can recall, go back to base, grab our legendary shard here, and then get the wisdom tree before night, and then we'll definitely hit level 9, which will put us at full build. So this is why I wanted to save my rerolls. All of these are pretty bad, at least for this build. That's exactly what we want. Cooldown reduction, or even maybe a really big rage or arcane stack I would take there. And then you're going to make a bone prison here, so I might even just get level... Nah, that's probably being a little too optimistic. I don't think I'll quite get level 9 off of it. I also aimed poorly. But it's fine. My E is at the point of where it's starting to one-shot stuff now, too. It's doing 1,200 damage, plus an additional 244. So another fun thing we can do now, too... Oh wait, we're not level 9. I could have just easily killed myself there. We don't quite have the ability to do what I wanted to do yet, but we'll hit it soon. Oh, those guys actually don't get one shot by my E. Wait, why didn't they get one shot? Did some of them still have their shield on, maybe? So this would be good if I was going an auto attack build, but I'm not scaling up my damage at all, so that won't really do much. Here we go, that's what we want. Instantly refresh all skills on cooldown. Or the flat, I think that legendary would give you 500. That would also be good. We'll take this, just in case I've missed any plants. They don't have any acid resistance, so I don't need to worry about the other one. Now, we finally got our synergy put together between the second two evolutions that I took. When I put down my T ability, Acid Rain, it will give me invisibility, which will give me cooldown reduction, and reduce the cooldown of Acid Rain. So if I have enough cooldown reduction stacked up, I can infinitely be invisible with Acid Rain, which then, remember that the other evolution we took is cooldown reduction while invisible. This works really well with Talos as well. Just the cooldown reduction build in general, and then what you can also do with Thalos, instead of using the Acid Rain for invisibility, he has an evolution where you get invisibility after dashing with your E ability. You can get that to the point of where the stealth on it and the cooldown reduction is high and low enough that you can have infinite stealth that way too, and then keep your cooldown reduction stacked constantly. So we got 2, 3, yep, all 4 Ultra Powers are done. I got both of the Life Fountains as well, so the only other thing I can really do... Nope, I got this Sacred Shrine. There must be another Sacred Shrine up here that I just never uncovered. That's not gonna matter too much, though. It does help during boss fights, but the Spider boss is going to... One of its moves hits really quickly a bunch of times. It's just gonna shred my Fate Armor anyways. That will help out a little bit. It won't make a huge difference, but a little bit helps. I think we can probably just one-shot these. Nope. If they weren't buffed by the Blood Moon, I would have one-shot them. Oh, do I need to maybe... Let's see, do I have the portal over there? No. Or maybe I... Nope, I never restored it. I think I already used a portal today anyways, too. But we should probably get over there for the 5 free raid jams. I think I still have plenty of time to get there. I feel so slow. I was doing some runs with Battle Flare, and the upgrade for Battle Flare where you get extra movement speed while it's active, and I was able to, like, kill a camp with the Battle Flare and run all over after that. It was really nice to have. But now I feel so slow afterwards. I should have dropped my T ability before casting the R, but I wanted to do the fun combo of casting the R while my E is still in mid-animation. How much cooldown reduction do we get while invisible? 140, that's not bad. Do I want to push enemies around? Probably not. Neither of these are really gonna matter. I do have a portal here that I haven't restored, so I can do this quest pretty easily. It was just all planned, I swear. It's not that I just forget portals exist in this game for some reason. I'm saving them for the quest. We have a bunch of money saved up again, too. I haven't really needed to spend my money that much, aside from just unlocking a couple upgrades here. I'll get the guard dogs, and then now, since I have so much extra bonus money, I'll grab these. I tried messing around with the Griffin's Nest a little bit, but I didn't really feel like it was anything that great at age 20, even with stacking a whole bunch of raid jams. And then let's actually go for the creature lair. I'm not gonna do the archer one, because the archer is overtuned. I don't know why. Pretty much every ability in this game is telegraphed. but the archer just has one where all of a sudden she'll start dashing. She shoots like 4 times, maybe even more. And each shot can hit you for 2,000 in age 20. So basically, by the time you see it, you're taking at least 1 or 2 shots. It's not telegraphed very well at all, and it hits so fast and so hard that you'll probably just get 1 shot by it. Especially if you're playing melee, because you have to be close to her anyways. The attack doesn't have that high of attack range, but like I said, when most of the characters are melee, you're going to be right next to them. That is a perfect roll, by the way. Legendary, and it has Rage Amps as the secondary too. Oh, this is just gonna make our stun duration on our pull hilariously long. We can stun them, go make ourselves a sandwich, come back, and then kill them afterwards. That's how long our stun duration is. Okay, perfect. I killed all of them except for the big one. And then my crit damage is going to be really high too, because we got that, oh, I maybe should have taken the cooldown reduction there. I skimmed things too quickly. But yeah, we got the additional crit damage on stunned enemies, and now we have like the 6-second stun duration. Oh, we need 1200 to level up the dogs again. I'm actually going to push the dog wave up here, though, to show you guys how much damage... So, like, if you're going for knights or archers, the knights really get carried by the thunder damage, and the archers really get carried by the fire damage. But these dogs don't need either of those to actually still do some damage. They do 200 damage each attack at 1 attack speed. And then you multiply that over, like, we have 25 Warhounds in each wave. Their damage can add up. It's not insignificant at all. The only problem is, your waves never really, in 20, they can never really push the enemy waves fast enough. Oh, they all got nuked by the spider anyways. But this set of them should hopefully be able to get some damage in. But yeah, your units never really push. Look at that damage! They're doing so much DPS, actually! I can just sit here and watch them. Yeah, the War Dogs are really fucking good. What is the Bastion? Did a thing... Yeah, one of the archers chased my miners back and put a trap there. But yeah, what I was trying to say is that your units will never just push the waves quickly on their own. At least in my experience, maybe there's something that will allow you to do it, but it always feels like I either need to buff them with Battle Flare, or I need to push the waves myself to actually get them to bosses. Oh wow, that would be great if I was going a tank run, but eh. This will give me more cooldown reduction while I'm in stealth, so that'll help out. But yeah, if you can get your units to the bosses by just helping them push waves, they can do a lot of damage, even without element abusing, with the percent health on Under and Burn. I don't know how we would really get high DPS, though, out of other buildings. Like, the monks are more there for healing, and the crusaders are there for tanking. But you get enough crusaders, they will probably still do decent damage if they have their domain building, and then they have the thunder damage. Because you can get a lot of knights per wave, too. especially if you have the extra domain that gives you extra soldier production, but there's a lot of ways to stack soldier production to get more knights. The only unit I haven't tried Kadath with is the monks, because I think if you're running the monks, you have to have their domain. I don't think the monks themselves have enough scaling that they can do damage, but the... Ooh. This'll be some extra movement speed for walking through these waves. This is actually a really good way of taking out their fate armor, too. You just have to obviously be careful not to do what I did and have that run out when you're in the middle of the wave. But yeah, I think the monks, you would probably need to have the domain for war priests, because the monks themselves aren't gonna do damage. The war priests get a lot of damage, though. I've tried them on other maps, just not this one. If you're doing that, what you want to do is get the Temple of Fate early, and then you want to get Trial of Destiny as soon as possible. That way you get 4 Sacred Shrines per day for this scaling here, instead of just 2. I don't probably... Yeah, actually, let me take out these guys for my wave, but I don't need to take out every single thing. You gotta watch out for these catapults. They have 460 damage already. These guys can easily end up one-shotting you by the end of the run, if you're not paying attention. And let's go ahead and finish clearing out here, and then kill the boss. Ooh, 100% crit chance against enemies below 38%. That really doesn't actually matter a whole lot, because our autos aren't doing anything, really. You can definitely see, though, that this does really high burst damage, but it doesn't do nearly as much DPS as a auto-attack based build would do. Point, maybe... Yeah, I think at this point I want to go even more Arcane than Rage, just to get our cooldowns as low as possible. And it looks like there's another Worm Forge up here. Oh, that one's actually right next to it. How much cooldown reduction do I have? If I'm cloaked and I have my potion going, I have 1,691. That's not bad. If I was running Mystic Transmutation, like I was in previous runs, I could use that to make my potions a lot stronger, and then get more cooldown reduction, but I'm tired of running potion builds, and I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing the same potion builds over and over, too. I still wonder if they're gonna nerf anything about that, because potion builds just seem like the better option for almost anything else you could do. Like, if you want cooldown reduction, potion build can stack on top of this, or do better than this just on its own. And then, like, if you want attack damage builds, potions are the way to go. The only thing you can't really get out of potions that you could with something like the Iron Forge to level up the shards you can buy from shops is HP or range. Potions won't help you with that. But for everything else, I think potions just do a better job more consistently than trying to go for stat shards of that type. Alright, there may be like one more camp or something around there, but we've got plenty. We're ready to end it. I could have definitely came up here and ended this a lot sooner too, but... Oh, I actually forgot a couple camps down here. I like full clearing the whole area down here. It's more fun for me that way. Ooh, so my R is actually at a 4-second cooldown when I have the stealth and potions up at the same time. Potions last for 15 seconds, too, if you get the upgrade here for them. So they're giving a very significant DPS increase when I have it active, at least. It looks like my cooldown is 10 seconds without potions. And this is how much cooldown reduction I've gotten on it. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting I can't actually show it. This is how much cooldown reduction I've gotten on it without leveling up the domain at all. If I had leveled up the domain, which I definitely could have this run, but again, I wanted to show off a run that's not just using the same cookie cutter thing that I've been doing in pretty much all my builds. They've all been different flavors of potion builds, so now for a while we're going completely without potions. Or not completely without potions, but we're not gonna specifically build towards them. And there we go. Boss kill is significantly slower than the other auto attack based builds I did. I don't know, my Venadius build was pretty slow, even with auto attack build. I don't remember if when I did my Venadius run, if I had realized how good Sublime Transmutation was yet. I can't remember if I was using that yet. But I know my Venadius run was way weaker than my Thalos run. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope that helps you with some ideas for how to deal with Kadath and not just reroll him every time. I think he's fun to play around, but you just have to rethink your domains for what units you have, and you also have to think about what units can synergize with the build you're running in terms of what amplifier you're stacking. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next one.